Oh, hi. I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Cryptotvplus. Every Monday morning, Cryptotvplus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Cryptotvplus.
Is DeFi dead? The collapse of a number of centralized finance has caused a lot of questions to surface as to if decentralized exchanges are safer than centralized exchanges. Now, with the bear market, traders in the crypto exchange are skeptical about safe and secure platforms on where to store and trade their cryptocurrencies. There's a hot debate about whether decentralized finance platforms are safer than the centralized ones. Mind you, we have top regulated centralized exchanges which have crashed from the Terra Luna to FTX to BlockFi. Should the crypto community continue to use centralized platforms or transition exclusively to decentralized exchanges? And we're here to lean in on it. Hello and welcome to the program. This is Inside Blockchain Live on Cryptotvplus. My name is Faith Equari. It's another Monday morning. If this is your first time on the show, do want to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cryptotvplus. Click on the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release a new video. Now, today we'll be discussing CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, before we get into the conversation, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, I will introduce my guest and we'll be talking about the conversation of today. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Happy New Year! Welcome to 2023. From all of us at Cryptotvplus, we wish you a bullish new year ahead. Happy New Year!
CeFi, DeFi. Confusing, huh? Hello, this is Learn and Earn with Anathon. Today we'll be talking about CeFi, centralized finance, and DeFi, decentralized finance, and their individual peculiarities. Now, CeFi can be said to be our traditional financial system of today with all the services they provide. Banks, insurance,
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency, only on Cryptotvplus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bull of the Bullet.
Keep watching Cryptotvplus.
Don't touch that dial. Peace.
Welcome back, everyone tuning in from around the world. Welcome to Inside Blockchain. I am Faith Equari. Now, today we'll be discussing CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad, and the ugly. To join in on the conversation is the team lead of Kumo Wallet, Abikure Tega. Tega, how are you doing today?
Awesome. It's good to be here once again.
So I think we should start, let's start with what DeFi is. For some people that do not understand what DeFi is, let's talk about DeFi. What is DeFi? What is CeFi before we get into the crux of the conversation?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, CeFi is an acronym for centralized finance. Okay, centralized finance has to do with data of an entire transaction being handled by a party. And of course, in this sense, it has to be a trusted party. And so you interact with the platform. Everything you want is within the platform, and an entity in the form of a company is the one you're dealing with. While DeFi simply means decentralized finance. Decentralized finance, which seems to be the future of finance, as most persons want to argue it, is actually doing transactions without having to rely on a particular entity or a party. Rather, there's still a reliance, which of course we're going to be diving in today into this conversation, but it is a reliance on codes. It is a reliance on codes and smart contracts, where all of these transactions are done without the trust of a data in a centralized entity. But then transactions take place depending on lines of codes.
Amazing. So I know there are a good number of decentralized exchanges, but in terms of global exchange margins, users seem to adopt more of centralized exchanges and activities more than decentralized platforms. Why is that happening?
Okay, yeah, the centralized exchange is actually an innovation. It's a solution in the crypto space. Unlike how many school of thoughts may have it, in my opinion, it is a solution because the entire concept of blockchain and cryptocurrency is hinged on decentralization, which means everyone not needing to have a trust on an entity or a body or a party. However, transactions can begin and end, relying on the lines of codes. So you don't have to depend on anyone. But the challenge about that is there's complexities in its. First of all, there's complexities in its build up. There are also complexities in dealing with these platforms, okay? But of course, when you use it over a period of time, you get used to it, as with every other things in life. But centralized exchanges came in to bridge the gap between the complexities of the decentralized platforms and the of course, the TradFi in this case, which is the current traditional finance system. So CeFi is like a bridge between the core decentralized infrastructure upon which the idea or the ideology of blockchain and Bitcoin was built on, and the traditional finance, which the entire world, 90% of the world, is currently dealing on. So CeFi is an innovation. So anyone who comes into the space, because once you're already used to how you open an account with your bank and how you deal with them, it's easy to come into the crypto space and work with the CeFi because it looks like where you're coming from. At the same time, it gives you access to the new world of blockchain and crypto. So CeFi is the bridge between the complex decentralized infrastructure and the simplicity of the TradFi, which currently holds or runs over 90% of the world's financial transactions today.
Great stuff. When I was introducing the topic, I said we're going to be looking into CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, let's look a little bit into the bad and the ugly side of centralized exchanges. Let's get to the backstory on why a lot of centralized exchanges, in the year 2022 have been crashing. What is behind, the multiple collapse, in your opinion?
Okay, well, of course, we would be looking at the extremes. The extremes comes from the fact that behind the entire infrastructure of the CeFi is a man or a group of men. Okay, and then in that case, it means you're going to be dealing with the personalities and the morality of these personalities, which of course becomes a risk. Of course, you can get to relate to the platform. The platform is nice, the UI is nice, which means the user experience is very beautiful. You enjoy the simplicity of the platform. However, behind this beautiful platform is a man, is an entity, and this entity, the tendency for this platform to thrive is dependent on the morality standard or status of this personality, and then it can't be trusted. Humans' morality is fickle. Today, it could be nice because things are nice, but when things get sour, when things are getting gloomy, on the user side, you're not aware. So decisions are taken based on the new circumstance of things without carrying alongside the user. And then you suddenly hear things like they're closing down platform, either because they are over leveraged or mismanagement, or they've actually stolen or carted away with user funds, right? Which indicates one of the most recent situations we're having here, which is FTX. And then, of course, you get to see other aspects like hacking. Okay, now because every platform you see is an offshoot of the founder or the one behind the idea. So when you're dealing with this platform, if this person is not a meticulous person, is careless, you could as well be dealing with someone who's putting the risk of users' assets in such a way that they are not well protected, and every loophole being noticed, because centralized exchanges have an accumulation of users, assets in large volumes. They are also a hive for hackers. Hackers are always looking for loopholes within these systems to penetrate. So if the founder or the owner of the platform is not a meticulous person as a personality, so you remember when I said you're dealing with the personalities and the moralities of these persons. I mean, so if he is not a meticulous person, he may be putting the assets of these users at risk, because naturally he is not down to detail. So that way you're having people being exposed to risk, not because they want to, but because the platform they're using is dependent on an entity or a personality whose morality you may not be privileged to check, because you're dealing with a platform. You may just be dealing with the simplicity of the platform and you just love it. But beyond the platform, at the back end is the people or the entities behind them, which you may not be privileged to want to test, or which you may not be privileged to want to experience until there's a problem, in the platform. So these are some of the challenges you have. And then you hear that the system has been hacked. You hear things like, the services or the organization providing us with data services or cloud services has breached our data. And then there's also, you just say little things, most especially in a space like ours that is unregulated. So you see things can just happen, anyhow. So it becomes very, very risky for people to deal with centralized, exchanges because of these few things I've mentioned. So these are many more. And then you see things like, okay, for example, we're in the bear market right now. Balance books are being shrinked. Now, not enough monies. Some don't have enough monies, okay, to carry on within this period. And there you now come when I talk about the morality check, right? What would you do? Some people are finding themselves going into close to bankruptcy. They want to go to extra length to make sure they rescue or protect their company. Or some other persons that just see it as an opportunity to just declare or cut away with users' funds, just like that, just because they feel, well, things are bad and it looks like things are going to get worse at this point. Here, I can, at the back end, I can see $3 million. If I take this $3 million, I may as well set myself up for life. So I just say something is wrong, or because a lot of platforms actually chose to close this period just because FTS closed down. So they just say, well, they are being affected by what has happened in the industry. And because of that, also, they close down. So these are the challenges, amongst many more, because as time goes on, we get to see new things. I said some time ago, I said now we may begin to hear less of hacking as the reason why centralized exchanges are closing. But we're going to be seeing more things. Okay, management will definitely come in. Over leveraging will definitely come in, and then these realities, making use of users' funds without their consent, and then things go sour. It's going to get exposed because there's no regulation to curb this. So these and many more are the challenges and what users have to face dealing with centralized exchanges.
Amazing. Right from Tega, he said, behind every centralized exchange is a man, and the success of that centralized exchange is based on the professionalism and the morality of that man. If you're just tuning in, you're still watching Inside Blockchain, and we're talking about CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We will go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue in the conversation. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Whether you're new to the NFT space or already conversant in the NFT space, NFT utilities are one of the reasons why you and I would desire to buy an NFT anytime, any day. NFT utility is the value attached to an NFT. It shows the usefulness of the NFT, what its use cases are. For example, Ownership of the Elite NFT Academy grants access to an exclusive step-by-step blueprint that teaches you how to build NFT projects, tools, and start a Web3 agency.
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency only on Cryptotvplus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bo of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that die. Peace.
Welcome back everyone tuning in from around the world. If this is your first time on the show, do well to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Crypto TV Plus. Click on the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release a new video. Today we're talking about CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad and the ugly, and joining us virtually is the team lead of Kumo Wallet, Abikure Tega. Now, Tega, let's continue the conversation. Now, with how much regulation and synergy centralized exchanges have with the government, do you foresee centralized exchanges turning into banks? What are the opportunities and challenges of centralized finance and decentralized finance and exchanges face respectively?
Okay, thank you for that. I think yes, that's going to happen. Centralized exchanges are going to be on new banks, and then banks will find a way to make sure that they catch up with the show, and then also begin to offer crypto services as well, so they don't, so they also get a pie of that market. Okay, so that's definitely what's going to happen, especially when regulation comes in and they're now recognized, because all of the services the banks offer, the exchanges are already offering it, but some of the exchanges the exchanges offer, the banks can't offer them yet. So I see the banks as I see the exchanges as the future of banking actually. Of course, for a very long time, a lot of persons were shying away from the reality in accepting the fact that a banking would still remain with the advent of crypto. From the very onset, I said there will always be crypto banking. Man was designed to trust. So every time the reaction of not wanting to trust is because he's been disappointed trusting, and so anytime man is acting like he doesn't want to trust, it's actually not the norm, and it doesn't stay for long. So I don't expect that to be a path. We'll always come to a point where centralized exchanges can be trusted, and then people will have to deal with them. It's the reality. What would then happen is, while we're talking about banks offering crypto services and exchanges being your new bank, we'll also see an emergence of a bridge between the DeFi and the CeFi in the crypto hand as well. All of that is going to come to play in the future as the space evolves. Okay, as we see new innovation comes in, and we're going to see all of these things unfold time after time, basically.
So let's touch on, there's a second part of the question. Let's touch on, the opportunities and the challenges that decentralized finance and centralized finance is going to face, moving forward, moving into, different space, different sectors. Let's touch on that.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Earlier I talked about the disadvantages of centralized exchanges, because you have to deal with an entity. But I think that of DeFi is worse off. Now you see everybody clamoring, go and have your wallets, and then make sure you're in custody of your tokens. I said earlier, it's not a thing of man. I mean, except you make keeping custody of assets a business. Except when it becomes a business, it's not something man can deal with for a very long time. Okay, so I don't see DeFi really coming to shake everywhere. What I expect is a blend of the DeFi and the CeFi. That is what may take over, especially in the crypto world. Now, some of the greatest nightmare of the decentralized exchange is the fact that for centralized exchange, you have to deal with an entity, the morality of the entity. For decentralized exchange, you have to deal with the integrity of the codes. And that's worse off. It's worse off in the sense that it's a code, it's a line of code. So if it goes bad, you can hold me responsible. It's the code. Okay. So we've seen situations where DeFi protocols, DeFi platforms holding huge amount of monies being hacked, right? Either because of the integrity of the code, not well audited, or vulnerable to attacks, and then millions of dollars are lost. It's not even carried in the mainstream media. It's not to talk about. It just happens, and then it just goes under the rug. Nobody talks about it. And then you can also see that in DeFi platform, when there's a rug pull in DeFi platform, nobody makes a noise. I mean, it's most of the DeFi platforms are even run by anonymous, founders as well. So, and even when they're known founders, there seems to be less responsibility on the side of the founders. Unlike in centralized exchanges, when you see these persons show up, for example, as terrible as the case of FTX is today, there's somebody to hold responsibility. Say, hey, SBF, come here. What has happened? He has to explain. He's mandated to explain. He has the responsibility to explain to users, to regulators, to government bodies, government agencies, what has happened. In the case of a DeFi, it would almost not be so, because in the first instance, the coin is not in my custody. But how about in a situation, what I see, if this narrative goes into the next bull market, what I see is more DeFi platforms coming into existence with tampered codes, deliberate tampered codes with the intent to siphon users' funds, and then you can't hold anybody responsible. As a matter of fact, most DeFi platforms, if not all DeFi platforms, there's no support. I mean, who do you want to talk to? The whole idea of the platform is come and deal and go. Okay, just depend on the line of codes. But what about if there is an integrity issue on the smart contract of those lines of codes that runs the protocol? Then it means that the users of such platforms are also liable to risk. So these are the challenges, plus the fact that it is complex. It is not for the average man. Okay, I mean, you don't want to engage yourself in other business sectors in life, work 9 to 5, work yourself out, and then when it comes to the part of your money, you still now come and then making sure you keep it safe. It's too tedious, and that's why banking evolved in the first place. Don't forget that money has always been in the hands of those who own it. They gave it out. Don't forget that. Don't forget, that's how banking started. So banking started as a result of persons, right, not willing basically, because I mean, if you listen to people talk about banks, okay, it's very beautiful if you hear a bank was robbed. Oh wow, the bank was, nobody is bothered about whether their money is robbed, because they know that the bank, which is the entity, by virtue of the fact that there's regulation, will take responsibility for the funds. But it's not the case right now for CeFi, because it's yet to be regulated. But in DeFi, once you hear that a DeFi protocol has been compromised, hacked, or maybe with an integrity issue, or because there was no proper audit on it, it means that everyone's money is gone. It's gone. So those are the challenges we have, with DeFi, and it's going to get worse because now we are talking so much. The loudness of the inefficiencies of CeFi is open to the media. When DeFi is given this kind of opportunity, then we're going to see the loudness of the inefficiencies of the DeFi system, and not talking of the average user who has to keep keys. Who has to keep keys. For example, I've interacted with several protocols using a DeFi wallet, and I have created over 2,000 DeFi wallets for different kind of transactions. As a matter of fact, for every new transaction I want to do, if it's a DeFi transaction, I have to create a new wallet, because I don't want to be exposed in any way. So you see, I don't trust. You see the idea of the crypto space, taking away trust. That's really it's not true. Okay, the reality is that trust was taken from personalities, from people, because people are vulnerable. They have emotions. Things can change. But code once written stays like that. Yes, that's the integrity of code. But what about when the codes are not written properly or not well audited, or when they were done with the intent to defraud? What happens? Okay, so those are some of the disadvantages, and of course it's gonna go rampant. It's gonna go rampant. I mean, when we talk about after the case of FTS, a lot of exchanges was coming up to say, hey, like Binance took the lead, CZ took the lead, and came out and said, hey, we are showing our proof of reserve, okay, and then bringing out their face to say funds are safe. No DeFi platforms has it's not necessary for them to do that anyways, right? But it's also possible for monies to get lost. It's also possible for monies to get lost by interacting, in the protocol. Okay, so when you say, okay, what about when I store it and I don't do anything with it? There's really going to be a way where you just store and not going to do anything with it. After storing it for a while, you still have to do transaction. Either you want to transfer from one place to the other. Somehow, you are going to be liable. Somehow, you're going to be liable to the vulnerability of a protocol created with the intent, okay, to defraud, created with the intent to cause, the havoc in the protocol. There's going to be systems like that. So it's just quite unfortunate on both sides. There's disadvantage and there's advantage. Okay, of course, the beautiful part where once you have it in your maybe cold wallet. Okay, we've seen situations where cold wallets, okay, were tampered with. Yeah, we've seen situations like that. So the last time someone was asking me, wanted to buy a cold wallet. So I said, if you're buying a cold wallet, do not buy from a third-party website. Do not buy from a merchant. Buy directly from the organization. That if you're buying Ledger, for example, go to the website directly, place your order, and get it delivered to you by them. So you see the multiple things you need to do for self-custody. It's tedious. It's very, very tedious. And not the case for an average man, not the case for an average guy, actually. Not the case for an average guy. And then also, it's not a guarantee of any kind of loss. By the way, you may not lose the coins and you may lose your keys. How about that? You should also lose the money. If you lost your keys, you've lost your money. So when they say you can't lose your assets, what about when you lost the keys? You've lost the money, basically. So these are some of the pros and the cons in the DeFi, and CeFi.
Wow, that was extensive. Now, moving on with the transparency nature and permissionless nature, and also giving users protocol ownership. When do you think decentralized finance will be matured enough to accommodate users? Because I know you have talked about how much decentralized finance might not be able to be, responsible or accountable to users because it is driven by codes, and codes can be hacked at any time. But when do you think the decentralized finance, because we're still in the evolving stage, is going to be matured enough to get users on board, to help store and trade cryptocurrencies?
So it's two ways here. I think the CeFi is doing a great job onboarding new users and making the adoption very fast. And then when they interact with the CeFi platforms, they get to hear about DeFi and get to see why DeFi is also good, and then they migrate into using the DeFi platform. So very, very rare would you see someone coming to the space for the first time, want to interact with tokens, and they go direct to a DeFi platform. That's very rare, very, very rare. But of course, it probably would be happening as well. So CeFi seems to be the onboarding point. But the challenge there is the fact that the development and the involvement of the DeFi protocols and its infrastructures and operations is being slowed down. Okay, it's being slowed down, which means the masses and adoption is yet to put heavy weight on the DeFis themselves. So there are lots of vulnerabilities and challenges that DeFi has, but because the CeFi has taken the responsibility of a bridge and making it convenient for people, we are here to really test the DeFi so that it will grow. Because how does growth comes is by testing what has been done, and then when something goes wrong, say, oh, okay, oh, I see this can happen here, so it means if this can happen here, we need to tighten this and make this better. That's how CeFi got to where they are today. And now in DeFi, we also need to give them the space to grow. But I think CeFi has kind of in that allowance for it to grow fast. However, it will evolve and it will grow. It's going to get better. Like I said, what I see, the point where DeFi is going to be the big fish for adoption is the point where there is a beautiful and great synergy between DeFi and CeFi. One of them, I strongly believe will enhance the usage of DeFi is support service. Yes, when they have good support service, I think that it's now beginning to evolve. For example, today we knew wallets. Okay, non-custodial wallets. We know them to just store your crypto. But today, since the emergence of DeFi trading platforms, now you can link your wallet to the platform to trade. That's beautiful. That's one. They also evolved to the point where within the wallet, right, you can now swap. So you don't need to link the wallet to a platform to do a transaction. Within the wallet itself, you can swap. That's beautiful. They've gone further. Within the wallet, you can now purchase a coin. So which means you don't need a centralized platform anymore. So they're trying to tell you. So it's actually evolving. Okay. But my challenge, like I earlier said, is these evolvements and these developments have not been tested. They've not been tested by millions of users to get them to the point of errors, failures, where they now also have to say, okay, we've learned this, now we have to make sure it's not right now. It's the shows of the CeFi. The CeFi are the ones running the shows right now, and every CeFi seems to be tagging themselves alongside with a DeFi, with a non-custodian wallet to make sure that they are pushing funds, developing it because they see it as the future. But they're already actually making some progress. So right now, even your Trust wallet, for example, you can enter the wallet itself and then purchase coins with fiat. So they're integrating other APIs, integrating APIs of centralized exchanges, integrate APIs of other platforms so that people can use it. So the things you could actually do in centralized exchanges, they're making sure that gradually you're being able to do these things. Now, as these things evolve, we would see a large form of adoption, into the usage of non-custodial wallets.
Amazing. It has been an amazing time with you. And we're still talking about CeFi versus DeFi, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're wrapping up. We're getting to the point where we have to call it a day. But before we do that, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show.
Hey guys, welcome into the metaverse on Cryptotvplus. In today's video, we're going to be taking a portal into the Nakaverse and explore it a bit. The name Nakamoto will never be erased from the history of tech revolution on Earth, which brings me to the metaverse project we'll be talking about today, Nakamoto Games. Nakamoto Games is a play-to-earn gaming platform offering different gaming experiences for gamers as well as developers. It's more or less like a metaverse that will allow gamers to have access to lots and lots of games on the platform, while developers
Don't get stuck in the past. Get all the latest news and happenings on blockchain and cryptocurrency only on Cryptotvplus.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bo of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that. Peace.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Inside Blockchain and we'll be discussing CeFi versus DeFi. If this is your first time on the show, do well to follow us across all social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cryptotvplus. Click on the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release a new video. Now, Tega, what is the impact of CeFi and DeFi in Africa and in Nigeria? Because we have seen a lot from the challenges, the opportunities, some of the ugly parts of CeFi and both DeFi. Let's look into the future and the impact of both, finance platforms in Nigeria and also in Africa.
Okay, I would say, I don't think the platforms have done anything for Africa. They're just business ventures that have come to look for markets, and I think that Africa has done well for the crypto space. Basically, we've pumped in a lot of liquidity into the market. Nigeria leading in the volumes of trade. If you look at the search results as well, it tell you a lot is coming out from Africa, most especially Nigeria. So I think Nigeria has really done a lot for the crypto space, the entire ecosystem, and of course in CeFi and DeFi. I also think that CeFi has played a great role in enhancing this adoption. It's been very easy. Okay, now most especially when we've had different platforms reaching out to the people, in different languages, in different styles, and one way or the other, it's one goal, getting them into the crypto, ecosystem. And CeFi has really done a lot, in this regard, a lot, really, because like I said, how CeFi works, it's almost like the way the banks currently work. So it's just easy, creating an account here, just like, okay, another type of bank. Okay, and then so we've seen a high level of adoption, okay, into the blockchain and the crypto space because of trusted and user-friendly CeFi platforms. Basically, so it has made the gospel of the blockchain and decentralization really made a great move here in Africa. And of course in the future we expect I'm an advocate of platforms and infrastructures built by African teams, okay, because I just think that this is one of those technologies that the entire world got to interact with almost at the same time. But of course the outcome or the output was based on where these economies are already, and that's why you see more technological innovations in this space come from countries like India, and other Western environments based on their minds ahead in terms of tech and development. But we've done well. The exposure has been very, very amazing thanks to the academic platforms funded, pioneered, and then encouraged by these exchanges. And I tell you, at this space, basically, we're going to be seeing the next 5 to 10 years. We're going to be seeing the entire banked, African markets in the crypto ecosystem. Let's not be in a hurry to talk about the unbanked. Let's get it banked in first, because I mean you need more to get the unbanked in. So let's get it banked in, and I think the CeFi has done a great job on that. DeFi is only a mode of it's just an education piece as far as I'm concerned. When it gets to the onboarding, CeFi comes in. So we preach DeFi, we onboard with CeFi. So I mean that's been the formula, and Africa has done well to embrace this and has graced the crypto market basically.
Tega, thank you so much for giving us all the teas and all everything that we need to know about CeFi and DeFi, and we hope that the new year poses a new space and a new point of onboarding for users, and give them a certain level of confidence and faith and trust that the crypto community and the blockchain space is out for good and is here to stay. Thank you so much for always joining in when we need you to, Tega, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. And that will be all on today's program. You can get more market updates and all the happenings captured within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency on our website, Cryptotvplus.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at Cryptotvplus to get daily info on our programs. Thank you for staying with us. I had Tega, who joined virtually to talk about CeFi versus DeFi and Faith Acquired. When I come your way again, I'll see you next week.